guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be covering a case a few of you have alerted me about. It's a heavy one. I mean, I think that if you're on my channel, you know that it's a heavy one, but I'm just telling you to prepare right now because it is quite heart-wrenching and quite angering as well. Before we get into the video, I wanted to let you know that today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. In case you don't know, a VPN is a virtual private network, and that means you create a secure connection online. I also use NordVPN in order to access content that isn't available in the US. If you go to nordvpn.com/readytoglare and use code readytoglare, you can get 70% off a 3-year plan, which would total to $3.49 a month for 36 months. On top of that, you'll get an extra free month when using my code. I personally primarily use NordVPN in order to protect myself from being hacked and to keep private information private. Again, remember to go to nordvpn.com/readytoglare and use code readytoglare to get 70% off a 3-year plan and an additional free month. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video. Father fiance mocked freezing 8-year-old over text before he died, prosecutors say, as they detail House of Horrors. They were literally begging for food at school, eating crumbs off of the table, eating out of the garbage cans, going under bleachers in the gym to try and find food, prosecutor Carrie-Ann Kelly said in court of the horrific abuse allegedly suffered by Michael Valva's sons Thomas and Anthony. 8-year-old Long Island boy Thomas Valva lived in a house of horrors, forced to sleep in the garage, sent to school in soiled pull-ups, and mercilessly mocked by his NYPD father and his father's fiance before he died of hypothermia, prosecutors allege. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I have a particular bone to pick with crimes against children. They strike such a nerve in me because I truly do find it not only disgusting, but pathetic that a grown-ass human will pick on, bully, abuse a kid. I think aside from that, the thing that bothers me more is that when that kid grows up, they have to carry that with them, and it's not something you just shrug off either. And I think that's really what makes me mad, that these people are shitty towards children, and then the children have to live with the consequences of that. Authorities revealed the disturbing allegations against Michael Valva, 40, and his fiancée Angela Paulina, 42, Thursday during separate hearings before the Suffolk County Supreme Court. The pair are facing second-degree murder charges and 4 misdemeanor counts of child endangerment after allegedly showing a depraved indifference to human life, according to an indictment obtained by Oxygen. Valva and Paulina, who are being held without bail, have pleaded not guilty, according to Newsday. Thomas, who had autism, died from hypothermia after being forced, along with his 10-year-old brother Anthony, to sleep in an unheated garage without any blankets or pillows on a January night that saw temperatures drop to just 19 degrees, prosecutors say. Holy shit, I just looked up what 19 degrees Fahrenheit equates to because I'm used to Celsius. It's -7.2. I genuinely do not know how parents can put their children through that. I don't understand. The sole concept of your child being chilly should make you want to help them. Chilly. Just chilly, like in the house they need a hoodie. The concept of feeling okay with locking them in a garage where it's -7 degrees. As a police officer, Valva took an oath to serve and protect the citizens of New York City at large. However, as a parent to Thomas as well as to Anthony, he had a duty to protect his children from physical harm and provide them adequate medical treatment, prosecutor Carrie-Ann Kelly said during the hearing, according to the New York Post. The evidence in this case will show that the defendant failed Thomas and Anthony miserably, instead of treating them in a manner that was nothing short of cruel, callous, wanton, and evil. Just 2 nights before Thomas died, Kelly said Paulina texted video clips to Valva, who was at work as an NYPD officer, that showed the boys sleeping on a concrete slab with nothing more than pajamas in the family's garage. There was no bathroom in the garage, and Thomas and his brother were punished if they soiled themselves, authorities said. During their text exchange, Paulina allegedly asked Valva if Thomas was going to stay home from school the next day. "I have 0 clothing for him. Fuck that piece of shit, Thomas. He's not going anywhere," prosecutors said Valva texted back, according to the Post. Then, later, after seeing the video of the shivering and shaking 8-year-old, Valva allegedly texted, "Geez, it seems like he has to go. Too bad he doesn't have a bathroom." Paulina allegedly responded by saying, "Seriously, if only he had a bathroom." This text exchange is so disgusting and frankly alarming because it seems like they're watching animals at a zoo and they just don't give a single fuck about those animals. Like, it genuinely feels like they're talking about something like, oh, look at that tiger over there. What is he doing? Like, they're talking about it as if it's nothing what they're doing. Like, this is straight up, you're torturing them. After Thomas was later pronounced dead at an area hospital, Kelly said Valva allegedly told someone at the facility, "I've been through more stressful things than this," Newsday reports. It's like they weren't even trying to hide it at this point. Like, your kid dies and your reaction is, "Oh, I've been through worse." Prosecutors believe the couple had a long history of physically and psychologically abusing the brothers after Valva gained custody of his 3 sons in 2017. The couple allegedly refused to give boys breakfast when they didn't call Paulina mommy, and officials described the boys as being unbearably thin. They were literally begging for food at school, eating crumbs off the table, eating out of garbage cans, going under the bleachers in the gym trying to find food, Kelly said. The teachers at the school brought extra food for the children. The teachers repeatedly asked both this defendant and Michael Valva to bring additional food to the school because the children were so hungry. They never did. The boys were allegedly sent to their elementary school wearing pull-ups soaked in urine and covered in cuts and bruises. Thomas came to school so soiled one day that the urine was squishing in his sneakers, Kelly said, according to the Post. Prosecutors, who set an extensive video surveillance system in the home, recorded much of the abuse, also described Thomas being physically abused. I'm happy the teachers were bringing extra food for the kids, genuinely, but also, why did the teachers not call CPS? Like, unless they did and it's not being mentioned, why did no one say anything? If you're noticing that kids are coming to school with cuts and bruises, they're very thin, they come to school with urine on them. So much urine that their sneakers are making noise like if they'd walked in a puddle. Why weren't the teachers actively doing something? If you're so aware that something's going on to the point that you're bringing extra food for kids that are that thin, that they're scavenging for food essentially, I'm confused. Slapped and punched and carried by the wrist with their feet not touching the floor, Thomas was thrown and dragged down a flight of stairs, Kelly said, according to WCBS. As prosecutors detail the disturbing allegations against the couple, the boy's mother, Justina Valva, could be heard sobbing uncontrollably. "I just kept thinking about how much abuse all of my children encountered at the hands of those 2 abusers, Michael and Angela," she later said, according to News 12 Long Island. Zubko Valva said she was also tormented by all the institutions who had failed her young son. "Now everyone's trying to do the right thing, but where were you when I begged you for help?" she said, according to WCBS. Suffolk District Attorney Timothy Sinney, who also attended the hearing, described the family's home as a house of horrors. "It was very difficult for all of us to be in that courtroom, and that's because what happened here is heinous," he said, according to Newsday. Sinney has vowed to get to the bottom of what happened in the case and promised transparency throughout the process. Paulina's attorney told the news outlet that his client had taken care of her 3 daughters while Valva was responsible for caring for his sons. She had been warned not to interfere with him and the household situation, and her relationship with Mr. Valva made it impossible to navigate around his emotions, temper, and behavior. Valva's defense attorney, Robert Delcall, urged the public not to jump to conclusions in the case. "The cry for vengeance eventually must succumb to the pursuit of justice," he said. Valva has been suspended in light of the allegations against him, the NYPD confirmed to Oxygen. Listen, I really have an issue when Valva's defense attorney, Valva, the guilty abuser party, his lawyer, is telling us not to jump to conclusions. There's text evidence. There is footage. What conclusions would I be jumping to if I said that this guy is a depraved piece of shit? What conclusion did I jump to there? I think that's it's my opinion, but I'm pretty sure we could also say it's a fact. So it's almost laughable when lawyers say to not jump to conclusions, especially in this case, because if we had no information, yeah, sure, I'm not going to jump to a conclusion, but we have text conversations, we have footage, and we have the evidence that is shown on the children's bodies by being that thin, by having cuts and bruises. I don't know what else are we really waiting for here? I mean, I want to see all the evidence. I want all the evidence to come out, but everything that's here already paints a very particular picture. And I think justice in this particular case would be the stepmother and the dad need a lot of therapy, because the stepmother didn't seem that bothered by the kids being outside when it was freezing. So I don't really think that she was a victim of anything. It doesn't seem like it. They both need a severe amount of therapy, because if you're okay with just seeing your kids shiver like that and you're just kind of like, ha, too bad they don't have a bathroom, you have big problems. You need extensive therapy. Aside from therapy, of course, you need to be locked up, period. That's it. Throw away the key, as is with the majority of criminals I talk about. This shit is heinous, disgusting. I feel so bad for the kids, or should I say kid, because they effectively murdered one of their children. Unspeakable. Absolutely unspeakable. I hope the community comes together to support the little boy through all of this, because I can't imagine what it's like to be in his position and processing all of that when you're so young. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Feel free to just rage in them, because I don't really know what there is to say other than rage. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get right into the fan art.